Greetings, everyone.
Hail, everybody. Thank you for coming to watch the Legion of Memers meme stream on this wonderful Saturday. Thank you, everybody in chat, and thank you to our special guest, Tom Connors. Without further ado, let's get started with the intro so we can get on with the show. How's everybody feel about that?
Fantastic.
I'm alive.
All right, let's get going. Horny Alf, how you doing today, mate?
I'm pretty good. Had a pretty good stream on Dermy's show last night. There's a lot of jokes that came out of that. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter dropping memes. And then when I'm not on this stream, I'm on Vets Talking or possibly Dermy's. So
sweet, man, sweet. It was great being on with you guys for the hour I was on last night. That was very fun. That was something I'm not used to, but that was a hell of a show. I'll tell you that.
Yes,
so go check
you got out there
out
just in time.
Yeah, right. Are you sure about that?
Yes. We learned about circles. Go check out the stream to learn about circles, and I will be clipping that out.
Tom, you want to introduce yourself to the people who may or may not know you?
Hi, I'm Tom. I'm from Midnight's Edge. How is everybody doing? This is my first day as a YouTuber.
We can tell. You'll get there eventually, Tom. Just work on it.
I'm working on my voice now.
Well then.
Sorry, my mouse is moving on its own.
Maybe you need a magic mouse.
So, Tom, where can people find you if they want to follow you and check out your content?
Well, of course, you can find me on Midnight's Edge After Dark, or you can find me on Twitter, Facebook. We have a Facebook group there. I think we got a Rumble channel now. I think we got Discord and all that business. So yeah, we're out there. I just don't know all the links because I'm so technically declined, or whatever word you want to call.
Deficient.
There you go.
Inefficient.
And intelligent.
Tom shows up and says his piece and then leaves.
Yeah.
I plug it in. I push buttons. I click on links. That's about it.
Well, he's chill. He's chill as fuck.
Yeah.
It depends on the time of the day, but yeah.
Well, all right.
Editing, yeah.
Yeah, Tom definitely does a lot of editing. If you go check out his channel, he posts some really cool stuff, and he posts some mad. The channel that you play the music on, is that your Midnight's Edge channel?
That's actually a separate channel as well. That's Mead Radio, and that's just so nothing gets disrupted on the other channels. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just throw that on and just chill there and do my own thing while listening to it, man. That's pretty good stuff.
Awesome. Cool.
Dermy, how you doing today, man? You got some sleep last night, or
I'm gonna be honest, I drank a whole lot after the stream. I fell asleep at my desk. I then woke up, went to bed, and
were you seeing circles?
We will learn about circles on.
I have no idea what this circle business is, so I'm just gonna tease you with it all this time.
Well, you'll have to go to Dermy's.
You'll have to go to my channel to figure out more. What I will hint at is there was discussions of the human centipede and circles.
Different variations of the human centipede.
Yes, and which end is better to be on, and then again, different variations of a human centipede. And is that personally possible to get a circle out of that?
You know, next time I'm not going to ask at all. Yeah. You know, forget I called.
You should have known that was wrong from the beginning.
You want to know. Trust me.
I saw someone take the picture of the human centipede and then put an ad on top of it and said, "There's no wrong way to eat a Reese's."
Anyways, hi, I'm Dermy Wormy. I'm doing good. I started my own panel show last night with my co-host, who's right above me. You know, the great man. Originally, the concept was we'll make fun of everybody, and it devolved into just making fun of me. So, got to roll with the punches still.
Everybody. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, you thought you were gonna make fun of me, and that did not work out the way you thought it would.
Yeah. But we made a new friend in lovely Sherry. Not lovely Sherry. God, I have her. It's Sheila.
Sheila Aliens.
Oh, Sheila.
Shayla. But hi. How are you, Rox? How are you doing?
Good. I'm a little out of it because I woke up very early to watch the full Aussie, so I went back to sleep and woke up. It's not a good thing to do.
I fell asleep when the full Aussie was starting.
Speaking of which, we're missing Kenzo mentioning full Aussie.
Oh yeah.
Where's our
maybe
representatives?
He got some rest because I think he was up for that show too, so maybe he got some rest. Let him get some rest. He's working on some really cool stuff. And I'll check out his channel to see if he released anything new. Devil Made Me Do It. How you doing today, mate?
I'm good. I'm Devil Made Me Do It, friendly misunderstood father of lies. You can find me on Nalik3 on the Twitters. Last week I claimed, told you a little bit of my backstory, but it was not true. The truth is, I'm actually ex-Special Forces. My name is John Matrix. I live in bumfuck nowhere with my daughter Jenny, who is, I'm suspecting, going to be a frigid bitch when she grows up. Probably because she was recently kidnapped by an ex-member of my team, Australian prick, not like Lethal Lightning, like a real Australian prick. And of course, it doesn't matter because I threw a steam pipe through his stomach.
That works.
Is this going to be a running gag with you now? Just movie plots?
What are you talking about? Gag? What?
What's the gag? I believe this is his backstory.
Yeah.
I 100% believe it. He goes on Bet's Talking. I'm convinced.
Yeah, I mean, his title is Friendly Misunderstood Father of Lies. I mean, that is a title you can trust. I don't know.
Yeah, everyone's convinced I'm a Fed now, so I believe Devil. Yeah.
Yeah, you are a Fed. Handing out your pamphlets.
Speaking of which, we know some Feds who have terrible takes on media.
That we do.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we'll definitely get into that. But we'll finish off with the intros first. CJP, how you doing today, mate?
I'm doing great. Just dropped the final mainline Bond watch theme. Then I'm putting together a compilation of all of them so that you can actually watch them in one setting without having to go through the entire playlist if you don't want to. Got my second video that hit 3K in views, which was awesome. So just doing more of the Bond music and enjoying messing with those sound fonts and having fun with it.
Awesome. So you're just releasing those on a weekly schedule, or how you doing releases for that?
Usually when I get them done. When I have the
You'll get them when you get them, people.
Exactly.
When you fix the damn door.
Cry about
it. Soldier Spirit, how you doing today, bud?
Hey everybody, yeah, I am not trying to just look cool with this. I am wearing this in celebration because yesterday, me and our resident Marine Corps vet, Pope Metallicus, we made a reaction video to Tom McDonald's song America, and that has blown up, become the most popular song. We were wearing our camouflage uniforms, by the way. That's what I'm getting at. And that blew up to be the most popular video we've ever done. And just before, and as the video, this stream was starting, I checked and it became our very first 1,000 view video. And I am in celebration of that. That's why I'm still wearing this. So yes, thank you to everyone out there who supported the channel. Check out Bet's Talking, drop the G and you'll find me. I am just on cloud 9 on how great everything is doing. And damn if I wasn't happy to be on the stream last night, ripping into talking about circles. And everyone, you got to check out the video to find out what the fucking, how you make a circle. Right, Jeremy?
Yes.
How you make a circle.
So let me ask you a question. You've been wearing this since. When do you plan to wash it?
I'm never washing. This is my lucky shirt now.
Oh, okay. Pajamas. Day clothes.
You're gonna hear one of those stories where it's like this shirt attaches to his body because he's never taken it off.
All I see is his head. I don't see anything else.
I'm gonna get a patch that says 1,000 views. Slap that on there.
I think he was wearing that when he met Sheila.
Yeah.
Maybe it really is lucky.
Those 1,000 views is getting to his head now.
I'm fucking stoked, dude. Yeah.
Congratulations, mate. That is a big accomplishment, especially when you haven't had it before. It's a big step, and I'm proud of everybody here who's actually putting out content and trying to grow, because that's the whole part of the Legion. We grow and we get better, and we can take constructive criticism where it comes, and we just get better from it. So I'm really proud of all of you, actually.
We're proud of you, Daddy.
Oculus, how you doing today, mate?
Pretty fantastic, man. And I'm gonna say this: it's an honor to meet you, Tom. I mean, I've seen Midnight Jets like during the whole train cut situation, and I know you weren't there once, but I know you probably were introduced during the Ghostbusters 2016 thing where you were introduced, and I'm kind of speechless, man. I just love your impressions with your cartoon characters and your celebrity impersonations. So with that, before we ended the show, I made like a script for him to read. I mean, with his funniest voiced impressions. And I'm speaking mumble jumble right now for me and the main man, Tom, from Midnight Jets. I mean, holy shit. I can't even breathe right now.
All right,
buddy.
I think Oculus
I got the script here, but who's gonna do Miss Piggy?
Well, we perfect. Dermy's gonna do Miss Piggy.
I think CJP can do a good Miss Piggy. I'll share him the script.
Yeah,
he'd do a better Miss Piggy than me. I don't have a high pitched voice.
Dermy's gonna do.
Dermy just looks the part. I don't know if the voice is so good.
I'll just put my hand up his ass and make his mouth move.
You don't know where that's ass been.
Circles are involved.
Circle gets the record.
That is rough.
All right. Let's finish up intros. It's not Friday Night Tights here, guys. Okay.
I know.
True Pop Culture, how you doing today, mate?
Hello there, everyone. I'm True Pop Culture 7, here to laugh and think about pop culture stupidity. So yeah, recently I've released on my channel a certain stream highlight of Mauler's about him reacting to a certain video game called Atomic Heart, and in there is a certain character which can only be described as a horny fridge.
Oh,
yeah,
Jesus, so funny.
I'm not joking. Very weird video game. It must have been translated very poorly. You can really tell watching the stream. Fortunately, I kind of messed up the audio on it, and don't you just hate it when a video does really well in terms of numbers, and you just kind of messed up just a little bit with one little thing, and you can't fix it anymore. That's what I feel like with it. But yeah, it's hilarious to watch him just stammer at the sluttiest, horniest fridge you've ever seen in your entire existence. It's hilarious.
Never seen anyone get pegged by Frigidaire.
Yeah. The reaction is just hilarious. Like, I didn't even have to do much editing to it. Like, Mauler's reaction to it just can make content creates itself. Yeah, and I've also released some other EFAP animated highlights. I've also done some streams with Mr. Bug talking all about Ant-Man and how terrible it was. So that was fun. Oh, I also watched Cocaine Bear on Friday, and that was not fun, really. I kind of didn't feel the cocaine hit. I felt mostly the hangover watching it, but I guess we get into Green Rocks. How are you doing, Rocks?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I am Superman. If he wasn't scared of Green Rocks, leader, creator, and founder of the Legion of Memers, but nobody cares about me. Let's go to chat and thank them all for being here, because without them, we would not have a show. So Tina, thank you for coming and hanging out with us today.
Hey,
We
team.
got Clinton in here as well.
Hey, Clinton.
Regular. Thank
Howdy,
you, man.
Clinton.
Appreciate you. And who we have here? Oh, Midnight's Edge After Dark. Who could that be?
Get that fucker out of here.
He owes me money.
We got Grumpy Old Vaping Gamer. And
Hail, Grump.
big shout out to the lovely Sherry, who is dropping everybody's links in the chat. That is very helpful. Thank you so much. And I will update the mods video for you. Thank you so much. We have E. Clay Thomason. Sorry, I'm wretched at reading. Thank you for coming to hang out. We got Sean in the chat. We got War Monkey hanging out with us as well. Nasmer.
Nesmar.
And
Smizmar?
Schmishmar?
Snoo.
War Monkey. Isn't that what you call your Schmeckel green?
we have TJ in the chat as well. Did you already say hi to Tina? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, but we could do it again.
All
Crossing
right.
up the place.
We got Clobber in time in chat as well.
Hail, Clopperin.
So yeah, without further ado, because my computer is a potato, I have.
And you stream off of Mac.
Yeah.
You're a Mac user?
Well, no, I got a.
I am.
I got an
I am
HBO.
disappointed.
Damn you, Mac haters.
So, Tom, you released a video 15 minutes ago? On a
Yeah, we dropped
movie?
one on the main channel. Yeah, on Cocaine Bear, and Elizabeth Banks, and Charlie's Angels, and all that business.
So, it's actually really funny because True Pop Culture has quite an opinion about it. I was wondering, let's hear you two talk about it. So, True Pop Culture, I'm going to let you take this one and see what Tom has to say about it.
All right. Well, I thought the movie was shit. Let's not sugarcoat it. I laughed more at Ant-Man, which is saying something. Yeah, I was hoping it was going to be at least a bad film that's fun, but it wasn't even that. It was just bad for me. What were your thoughts, Tom? Have you seen it? And what were your
I
thoughts?
haven't got a chance to see it yet.
Well, have you heard about it?
Well, from what I've heard, like Culture Casino got to see it, and he said it was dumb fun, is what he said. For the most part, it seems like the audience is responding to it. I was gonna go see it, but friggin' weather came in, so I was like, fuck it. But yeah,
73% score. That's not as high as I expected it to be. That's interesting.
Granted, for a movie that's called Cocaine Bear, though, what do you expect? I mean,
yeah, true.
Yeah, Jeremy, if you can bring up that video of the guy talking about the Cocaine Bear real quick.
A video of the guy talking about Cocaine Bear.
I saw it to you in the DM, one of the videos.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. Give me a moment. I'm smart. I know what I'm doing. Here we go.
The thing is, the Cocaine Bear himself, it had like literal plot armor. It was just. They do know that the real life bear died from the cocaine.
15 minutes, yeah.
Did you share the sound?
Yes, I shared the sound this time.
Oh, this guy was in Cocaine Bear.
Here's what you need to know before you see Cocaine Bear. Nothing. You don't need to read a comic book from 1978. The bear wasn't introduced at the end of the Eternals. If you've ever heard the words cocaine or bear before, you're completely up to speed. Don't come to this movie for a pop quiz, okay? As Nicole Kidman said, we come to Cocaine Bear for magic. And you're not going to see any articles after, like Cocaine Bear ending explained. You're just going to see ones that say, remember the ending of Cocaine Bear? We do too. It fucking ruled. This movie will be conservatively 1 billion times better than Citizen Kane. Conservatively.
Buy your confidence.
That's the type of advertising
right
I want to see. I want to see more like this.
That's how you.
I didn't know that dude was an actor. Like I saw his like funny clips before. He isn't.
He isn't an actor. He's just he's a.
He was in the movie.
Yeah.
Wait, this guy was in the movie?
Yes.
Are you
He
sure?
was butchered and terribly killed. Yeah, I can't remember his face.
Oh yeah, he's the
paramedic, I think.
Is he the paramedic
So
or the
basically me
guy in the
in
beginning?
every of Skirmitar's intros.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
way
pretty much.
better. Way better.
I do want to
thing
see
is,
the movie. I just haven't had time.
I wish what he was saying was true. You know, about it being fun. It's not. And it's like what I've noticed about the film. It's like Elizabeth Banks' name is plastered all over. It's like directed by Elizabeth Banks, a Elizabeth Banks movie. It's just like constantly her name in the intro call. Jesus Christ! I know it's your freaking movie. You made it. You
God, why
made
you
your point.
keep talking about her?
Fun is very relative there, Buzz. So when you're a miserable Pollock like yourself, and then you can expect that you're going to have a different idea of fun.
Right.
Was
Us Polish people,
Bear
right?
cooking too.
Us Polish people, all right, we love bears. In fact, in World War II, I'm pretty sure we had like a pet of a bear that essentially handed down ammunition to artillery. I can't remember the bear's name.
Oh, you have a bias for bears, so you don't like the
Yeah.
fact that this is a bad bear.
Oh,
Got it.
wow.
Makes
There you
sense.
go. Now
Makes
we
sense.
know.
They basically hate like all bear type characters. Is that true? Is it?
Well, just bad
Hey,
ones,
welcome,
badly
Parrothead.
portrayed ones, anyway. But yeah,
If it's
but
Winnie
yeah,
the
this is the
Pooh,
actual
yeah.
guy here.
Comedian.
Yeah, he's a comedian.
Yeah. Okay. he's a
Yeah.
comedian.
Okay, no wonder why it was such a good.
Yeah, that's him.
I'm
Yeah.
worried. Elizabeth Banks retweeted him.
Okay,
He'll be canceled at some point then.
I
He's
think
so
that
triggered by seeing Elizabeth Banks' name.
Which is funny because like she came in late in the game. Actually, this is actually more of a Lord and Miller project.
That's interesting. I wonder who. Tom, do you know who wrote this? Because it's written like absolute shit, to put it lightly. If it was produced by Lord and Chris Miller, I would expect a much more higher level of quality, really.
Hey, Pop.
But then again, the movie is called Cocaine Bear, so.
Pop, we're not EFAP. We like
I'm
fun.
sorry that I have expectations.
Well,
right?
the writer has hardly written anything. He's written The Babysitter Killer Queen, The Babysitter, and Borderline.
That's
yeah.
So that's what he's
surprising.
known for, anyway.
So
Okay,
a lot of
Netflix.
adventures in babysitting that weren't actually good adventures in babysitting.
Yeah.
No,
I
he-
see
telling-
Cocaine Bear is more like Elizabeth Banks' redemption after the what was
Charlie's
what was
Angels?
the movie in
Charlie's
20 Yeah,
Angels?
there we go. There we go. Charlie's Angels.
She did apologize for Charlie's Angels, I think.
well, she
not
only
entirely sure.
apologized when she saw the pendulum swinging and realized that it was
No,
shit.
She actually just tried to change what she had said initially.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She tried to reframe it.
Okay. Well,
Oh,
I
good.
actually didn't mean this, just very bad, that kind of spiel. At the end of the day, I'm gonna just like Ant-Man, I'm gonna forget about Cocaine Bear in like 3 weeks' time, maybe even 2. The film didn't make me care about any of the people in it. Yeah, the kids obviously have plot armor. They're not gonna kill off kids, so I don't know why they kept like putting them in danger. The bear had complete and utter plot armor. I'm pretty sure it was shot, and people kept missing. There were like 5 people with guns. How do you not manage to kill a bear? You have a gun.
But this is an uber powerful bear on cocaine.
Yeah. Well, all right.
I've
Derby,
seen plenty
you
of
take
videos
some
of dudes
cocaine. I'm
all
gonna
hopped
shoot you
up on
down.
shit.
We'll see how
Oh,
much you move.
Dude, I'll tell you what. First of all, I've seen some dudes hopped up on some shit that'll take 10 slugs before they go down. Secondly, 9 times out of 10, if you shoot a bear, you're just gonna piss that bear off.
Yep.
Because they're so big that 9 times you got to hit something vital before, and that's why it usually takes a few shots or a shot right in the head. to
And
take
that's a
them down.
regular
alright.
bear not hopped up on cocaine.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the thing is, the
Pop.
bear only throughout the movie, the bear only takes
And I get it.
one
It's
bullet,
exaggerated, but yeah.
Yeah.
and it's just that plot armor is just thick. I can just see it from outer space.
Well, I don't know. I've seen bears take a lot of bullets before they go down.
And that bear should be dead because of the cocaine.
Yeah.
Like,
I was
yeah.
waiting for
Well, in
the-
reality, that's what killed him. I mean, let's
Yeah,
be real.
yeah,
I mean, but then
exactly.
you wouldn't have a movie. It'd be over in 10 minutes.
it is
Yeah.
perfectly fine after the film, like perfectly alive, not even dead. I was literally like thinking, all right, this bear's gonna probably die of a heart attack.
Well, how else are we gonna have
anything like that.
sequels, man?
Well, we are getting a sequel. It's called a Myth Gator from
Okay.
Asylum.
Gator.
I actually
Yeah.
kind of want to watch that.
No,
too.
I get where he's coming from, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who are gonna have this reaction to this film, but most people are gonna go into it not
Yeah.
expecting anything more out of it than like they did with Snakes on a Plane. And in
Yeah,
that
yeah.
respect, it has been compared to that, and it is most people are saying it at least delivers on like Snakes on a Plane, which was really just a trailer. Let's be real. After the trailer, it's not much more than an SNL skit. Cocaine
true.
Bear at least has some potential, if not for a franchise, at least for one movie that I think, even if you didn't necessarily like it, there's some people who are not going to like it. There's a lot of people are going to see this and going, like that guy just said that's in the movie. You don't have to know, who Cocaine Bear is. You don't have to see 10 Marvel movies leading up to this to know who Cocaine Bear is and his importance to this film. He's a bear who does cocaine and he goes on a rampage. That's all you need to know. And for 90 minutes, you're either going to be entertained or you're not, basically.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth Banks at this point, like that's the thing. The only people who give a shit about Elizabeth Banks are right here on this panel, pretty much, and in the audience. Most people, 90%, if not more, of the people that are going to go see this movie don't even know who the hell she is, or if they do know who she is, they don't really care.
I mean, you do raise a good point. Like, it's kind of, I guess, like this movie is probably going to be like Avatar, essentially. Really shit, but normies seem to go for it for some reason.
Well, not even normies will just go for it. I mean, everybody wants something that's just fun and entertaining. Sometimes people don't want something that's very logical. They just want to sit down and have some fun.
Guys, you're making me sound unreasonable. Like I didn't expect a logical film. The film is titled Cocaine
No, I
Bear.
get what he's saying. Yeah,
I expected to have fun. I didn't have fun. It was just bad without
This
the
is
fun.
not
You
the
know?
type of humor that we are accustomed to.
Us Polacks are too sophisticated for this movie.
Mhm.
Well, even if it's bad, we
Polacks do
support
not
it.
sound like that. I have no idea where you get your Polacks impressions from. We're kind of more drunk on vodka, just slur our speech,
Us Polacks fucking hate Cocaine Bear.
All right. I'm offended now.
I get what you're saying, Pop. I had something to say and then I started laughing.
Okay.
Let's
Was
try
that
to
the
support
Polak?
like Cocaine Bear
Yeah.
rather than
Are
the
you
Cam
being
movie.
discriminatory too?
80 times, and that movie's absolutely stupid, but I still watch it 80 times because it's entertaining.
Yeah. I wish that was the case with Cocaine Bear, that it was so stupid that I could have fun with it and watch it again. I'm not ever going to see this movie again. It's just so painful. I'd rather watch paint dry
I'll
than
watch
see
it
this
3
movie.
times for you
Yeah.
in your name.
I'm curious what your thoughts would be, Dermy. Like, yeah. So
Well, I can
Cocaine
give
Bear
you
is
my-
a one-time experience, I guess. You
I can give
go
you
on the
my thoughts on
cocaine and
something
then
else.
that's it.
I have
This
no
is-
interest.
The best thing Elizabeth Banks has ever done was that last section of movie 43 where she was getting destroyed by a cartoon cat.
That
Well,
was a
I
great.
have
That
seen
was that movie is so notoriously bad, but it is also so fucking good. I love it and I hate it at the same time.
Well, I can give you
This is one
something
of my-
that
like
I'm not
if
going to be
you
interested
can't watch that movie without laughing, then there's a serious problem with your humor, guys.
in. I will watch it without laughing just because you said I can't.
Speaking of
Okay, if you can
fun
monetize
movies,
it, go ahead.
speaking of fun movies that might be bad but still fun, have you guys seen the trailer for Sisu? It's
Yes.
essentially
Yeah.
John Wick in World War II killing Nazis.
We saw it on
Looks
Tuesday.
glorious.
I love it.
That looks fun.
But
You know,
Thank
speaking
you.
of
that's a fun movie.
Thanks to Tom Connors for introducing us to that on Bet's Talking Tuesday. That was fantastic.
that was bloody and awesome.
that was whoever sent me the super chat at the time because I was completely unaware of that film
Oh,
until that
so
super
good.
chat.
Well, I can tell you guys about a movie that I'm definitely not interested in and I don't really give a crap about. Aquaman of the Lost Kingdom.
Aqua turd.
With the turd in the screen. I don't want to see that.
I'm incredibly confused about this movie because it's It's after Flash. I thought it was releasing before
Basically,
Flash.
it doesn't
because
matter.
Flash is meant to be. Yeah,
It was bounced back and forth. Like originally, it was supposed to come after Flash. Then, when it looked like Flash was going to come out after this, they changed some things because Michael Keaton was originally in this.
okay.
And then they had Ben Affleck come in and reshoot his scenes, supposedly, because they hadn't gotten that far yet. And Michael Keaton even said in the press he didn't even understand why he was there. And neither did Jason Momoa. Yeah, because like this thing is a big friggin' mess at this point. And this is a lot of, and I, honestly, any of the guys that said you listen to me, this is the thing I've been talking about since way back at the Amber Heard trial. Because I kept asking my sources, I'm like, well, so what's the deal with Aquaman and Amber Heard? Are you guys recasting her? What's the deal? And they said, well, obviously going forward, they probably will. But at this point, Amber's the least of the movie's problems. The biggest problem is the movie sucks. And they were saying that back then before the reshoots. So now that they've had another test screening recently and these reshoots in between, that tells me it didn't fix nothing. So,
well, isn't the
what
story?
is there to do with Aquaman? Who's the villain? Who's
I don't know
Climate
who
change.
exactly. I don't know if Mantis is the villain or not, but like it's a buddy cop kind of movie with him and what's his face, good looking guy from the first one, and his half brother or whatever he is.
Ocean Master? I think that's his
I'm trying
name,
to think
but
of his
I can't remember the name.
I can't remember the actual Patrick
Can't
Wilson.
remember.
That's it. Yes, thank you. And so they're on like a buddy cop mission to do whatever. And Amber Heard gets put in a coma, and she let it out during the trial that she actually is pregnant and has fucking Aquaman's baby by the end of the movie. So like everybody pretty much
Klondike
already
bar.
knows what most of the movie is already. So
More like a
it's-
push-up pop.
Yeah. At this point, I mean, they might as well just release it and get it over with. It's like a funeral. And I mean, it's like one of the worst kept secrets in Hollywood that Jason Momoa is going to probably play Lobo going forward.
Yeah.
So.
I'd much rather him
I'm
play
excited
Lobo.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this whole movie is going to be a ginormous fart in the wind, but in the water version of it. So all in all, I mean, nobody cares about Aquaman.
Well, here's the thing is 6-7 months ago, you got to remember, this was DC's only chance. I mean, they didn't really quite know what they were going to do with the Flash yet, or if it was going to be anything or get any buzz, because they had all those problems with Ezra Miller. At this point, this was the only movie they had on their roster that is coming off a $1 billion hit, right? The first movie was the only movie of the DC universe to hit $1 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw the
And that's
movie like
because
So they
Shit
had
with
a
Jason
lot.
Momoa.
They had a lot riding on this movie, but now this movie has just become excess garbage. So I think they've just kind of gotten to a point where they're. I don't know if they're going to spend any more money on it. I don't see why they would. It makes zero sense to. So
It's more like chum. It's just a bucket full of
Pretty
chum. That's
much.
what it is.
I mean, they're lucky the Flash got some buzz, so they might make some money on that. But I doubt that too because the budget's so damn big. It's got to make over $1 billion anyway. So, and here's the thing: at this point,
Miller's legal costs.
yeah, well, they don't need necessarily have to worry about that part. That's his problem. But like at this point, they're almost probably better off if these movies do flop, because from my understanding, the only reason Flash and this are still coming out and they didn't write it off with the other one, Batgirl, is because they're contractual and merchandising obligations and like probably tie-ins with like Doritos and who knows Burger King or whatever. You know what I mean? To where they can't can it. So it has to come out. But if it doesn't make any money, guess what? They don't have to pay any back-end deals to anybody. See, and that's what killed them on Wonder Woman 84 when they put that out on day and date streaming on HBO Max, is they had to pay out $100 million to Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins for their back-end deals. And the last thing they probably want to do is pay not only Michael Keaton, but probably Ben Affleck, Ezra Miller, Jason Momoa, anybody involved with these that are big above-the-line names that probably have some sort of points deal. They'd have to negotiate their way out of that. So at this point, they're better off if these things flop because then they don't have to pay anybody anything.
And even when they flop, I mean, and maybe Jason Momoa leaves, which actor do you think he should be the next Aquaman moving forward if they're going to reboot him?
They're gonna.
Aquaman is quite hard to cast.
It'll be Aquaman, but she'll be a black lesbian.
But not a biker.
Sadly, I think I saw Clobby around here earlier. I agree with him. I think he said Patrick Wilson would have made a better Aquaman than
That is
Jason would have
true.
in the first place.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
Jason
that would
Momoa
be.
saying badass.
The thing is, like, this is terrible. Like with these DC movies, so we've got Shazam, Aquaman 2, and The Flash, all essentially led to the execution blade, just because of these contractual deals. And it's just like I've never seen anything like this. It's like a complete and utter mess at Warner Brothers for movies essentially be pushed to failure, pushed off a cliff. I
Well,
haven't seen that's a very unique situation. I haven't seen
because they have to make money.
any studio do that before.
They have to
We'll
get
see.
what money they can get. That's the whole point. They're on the bounds of bankruptcy in some situations, and they just need to make money.
But look at the Shazam's 2 box office numbers. Like, they're even worse. Like, for the
Mhm.
opening projections, like 30 to 40 million. I mean, that's bad.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, the beauty of it for Discovery is they kind of came in and a lot of this stuff was before their time.
Mhm.
So it's just going to be write-off shit at the end of the day. I'm not so much in the financial side of things like Valiant, Renegade, or Culture Casino, or even Andre for that matter. So like, I can't give you like the whole rundown of that. But like, as far as I understand, Warner is not as in bad shape as the media and certain other people are trying to make them out to be, as opposed to like Disney, who's in a lot worse shape.
Oh,
right
God,
now
yeah.
in comparison, because like that's the thing is Zaz is trying to shake things up a little bit. They had a huge hit with the Hogwarts game here recently, and after Zaslav got done getting somebody to take over DC, which he did with Peter Safran and James Gunn, that was his ultimate goal. Was that is to get that kind of in order, and we'll have yet to see how that's going to pan out for him, but. At this point, I mean, you got Hogwarts business, so Harry Potter's still a big deal, and they've still got some other things that, you know, they can rely on for some quick cash if they need it.
Well, speaking of Harry Potter,
the big Lord of the Rings announcement we just got to, for
Yeah.
instance.
Yeah, speaking of Harry Potter, and we go to this one, they have plans for a TV series coming out for HBO Max.
That's funny to me because they've said, okay, we're not doing DLC or anything like that. We're making a TV series instead. I was just like, what the hell?
Well, they said they didn't plan on a DLC, but the idea for a TV series, it might not even be based on the game. It might be based in the world as a whole, sort of how the game is. But it also falls in line with what Zaslav said a while back, saying that he wants to do more Harry Potter IP stuff. He wants to work more with J.K. Rowling.
I mean, I'm
Yeah, and
okay.
at this point-
I'm honestly okay with this. I'm a big fan of the game.
I mean, I'm not a Harry Potter fan at all, so I have no real frame of reference for any of this stuff. I just know the game's been a hit. I know Harry Potter prints money, and I know that after DC, that was Zaslav's next thing to take care of. And my guess is he's going to treat it the same way. He's going to, I don't even know where this report's coming from, because somebody I heard said that they don't even know where this is coming from because they have not gotten this far yet. But this is stuff that they're talking about. Like they're my guess is they're going to get somebody like James Gunn to come in and oversee the Wizard World, basically.
Ooh, like James Gunn, like seeing the Harry Potter universe.
Not him personally, but like somebody like that is what I'm saying is. And I don't know if it's going to be J.K. Rowling specifically, because she might. I'm sure she'll be a part of that group, but they're going to want somebody who actually is a film person to come in and, you know, like with Peter Safran, and they might even work with Peter Safran. He might be somebody who will bounce between more than one place. That I don't know. But thing is they're going to need somebody who's going to need to shepherd this thing. Then they can start building TV shows, other games, you know, and so on. Maybe possibly more movies in the future. But my guess is they'll probably try to go forward with like bringing as many of the old cast members back as adults and having a new generation and probably build a series around the school, I'd imagine. That's just me speculating though. So like, again, the person I talked to said they are nowhere near this far along with ideas, like as far as what they're going to do. They just know that this is their next thing that they're going to start concentrating on.
There is a script for a play. I think it's called Cursed Child.
Yeah, the Cursed Child, which has been mixed reactions to it. And there was talk of them making that into a 2-part film. So that is on the table. So I don't know how far that's going to go, but yeah.
With the original cast, I mean, I don't see some of the original cast coming back because they want to do the cursed child. Like,
well, the
too
beauty
much.
of it is they can hate J.K. Rowling all they want, but only one of the cast members really has a career. I mean, Emma Watts kind of acts, and a few of the other people do things here and there, but like, let's be real, most of those kids don't do shit now.
Yeah, they're riding off their child stardom. I mean, they are beloved. Gary says it a lot.
Yeah.
Harry Potter captured a
Rupert
generation.
Grant doing pretty well.
Like I said, yeah, a couple of them are doing all right, and obviously Daniel Radcliffe's doing the best of them all. But even if he wants to fuss, like, all they got to do is say, "Look, guys, you guys were kids when you played these parts. We can recast most of you, and nobody will give a shit." Right? I think, yeah, some people will care, but I mean, at the end of the day, when you're playing the adult version of what were mostly kids when the last time we saw them, I mean, I know, granted, they were like 16, 17 the last time they played the roles, but you can still fudge it a bit. It's been 10, 20 years, so.
The thing is with I don't know, what would you call it? Harry Potter, Hogwarts IP, you can't really create a cinematic universe with it. It's all going to be surrounded by the school, the Hogwarts school, and how much can you do with a school, essentially? And essentially, the other films, like the Grindelwald movies, they've been a complete failure. So I don't know how much you can do with that Harry Potter-esque world.
You can do a lot,
actually. I don't know. I feel a bit more optimistic about it, to be honest, because you can do as much as you want with the school. One, it's magic, so you can create new things as much as you want. And number two, you have 4 years, right? They get 4 years of study at that school, plus the summers or the winter breaks. And you can change out the characters constantly if need be.
It's basically like a Game of Thrones for kids. Let's be real.
Well, that's what I was just gonna say. HBO Max. I just can't wait for all the incest amongst the kids at Hogwarts. Right?
Jesus fuck no.
Well, I didn't mean that.
What the hell is this reference? Devil, what the hell?
True Pop. If they make a magical wizard bear, would you be happy?
No.
Well, they do.
Only if it's snorting cocaine.
There are references to other schools. There are other wizarding schools besides Hogwarts. In the game, they talk about one in somewhere in like Uganda or someplace like that, the largest in the world, built into a mountain. There is references when Pottermore was so big to the American school, and even in though the movies are shit, the Crimes of Grindelwald and all that stuff, whatever the crap that those movies were, they do mention the American school and their houses and stuff like that. So you could do a cinematic universe interacting in other areas within the world.
Yeah,
just
I think there's
not a cohesive story. These are like, what's the term? Anthology series.
I think there's like 5 or 6 major schools, and the only one we've really kind of addressed is Hogwarts. So I mean, they could expand it.
I want to see.
There you go. There's that too. Yeah.
Well, hell, there's an entire wizard government. There's an entire society. It's not limited to just Hogwarts.
And there's probably other. Let's be real. Voldemort is one of the worst. There's probably other iterations of Voldemorts in other areas of the world. You just don't know.
A cool story that they could go off
Wake
of
Up
is...
Labs. She knows about this stuff.
Yeah, she would know everything. They could do a kind of a dark story off of Harry after the books, right? He becomes an aura, which is hunts dark wizards and stuff like that. I could imagine a story where they're playing like kind of like a detective almost mix of
you could almost treat it like a Marvel or a Star Wars thing, to where you have, like you said, there's different schools. You have Hogwarts and you have the other ones, which are kind of rival schools or what have you, and there's even the different divisions within, that. I don't even understand it so much, but what I do understand is that it has the expansive world that it can be treated like Marvel or Star Wars, right? Mm-hmm. And you can use series and video games and all this other crap to lead up to new movies even, right? Build up a new bad guy and all that kind of stuff.
And all crossover events, it could work on that part. Like, say like a evil cult will be the big bad guy throughout the entire, let's say, phases of the wizarding world. I mean, that could work.
Cult of Voldemort.
Yeah. Like after the events of the Deathly Hallows, you can do like the cult of Voldemort.
Well,
I
there's
just want
also
I want a Hogwarts SVU. I want them as R, as Aura's doing, the
hey, that sounds fun. You could
Yeah.
do cool stuff within this world. You could do similar like you could done in Star Wars, like they
Yep.
were trying to do in Star Wars. But I don't know if I want a whole overarching story. I want that kind of anthology style. Like, hey,
I'm just saying it's possibility.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm sure they're exploring all these avenues right now. It's kind of what I was gathering is they haven't quite gotten that far yet as far as what they're going to do. And that's where I figure they're going to probably try and get somebody to shepherd this thing, because that's what James Gunn is there for, is to shepherd that whole universe. So they'll probably get somebody like that. It may even be J.K. Rowling. It could very well be, but I don't see her because simply she doesn't have the movie, movie
I
side
think
of
she wrote the
things,
scripts to the Fantastic Beasts.
Oh
which is
my
not a
God.
glowing thing for her. Because I mean, Zaslav has pretty much ignored those movies as much as possible, especially when he's mentioning anything Harry Potter. He has not mentioned those at all, as
Well,
far as I know.
I heard it on another stream that they should have, even though she wrote the scripts, they should have let someone who actually knows how to write scripts come in to clean them up after she was done with them. But
Sorry
there's
to
a lot of
derail the
people-
conversation, but
Yeah.
Soldier, I just found out the bear's name. It's Wojtek. His year of service, 1943, 1945. I'm not kidding. He actually did hand down artillery supply. Oh, that is awesome. See, that is a movie I would watch. A bear in the army.
So,
that'd be awesome. See, instead of a bear on
So Army Bear?
Army bear called Wojtek.
Well, Soldier was in the army and he's a bear, so
I thought he was a power bottom.
As it stands right now,
that too could be both.
This game, the Hogwarts Legacy game, though, that it is massive. I mean, you come over here, it has 267 million hours played so far, and there was a quote in here about like how many potions have been made right here. Hours played, 393 million magical plants grown, 242 million potions brewed, and 125 billion dark wizards defeated. This game's massive, and this IP is still growing, and the game's not even fully out yet.
Wait, it's not even fully out yet?
No, it's not even fully out yet. You still have old gen consoles that come out in April, and then
Switch,
July you
right?
get the Switch version.
Is the story in this game supposed to be
Damn, bro.
Sort of.
Okay.
Sort of. It's connected. It's the style of the story that I would want. It happened so long ago. It doesn't really have any impact on the actual Harry Potter story, but there's references here and there. And you can't go down into the Chamber of Secrets. That's what pisses me off.
And they can't do Quidditch competition? I mean, that stinks as well.
Yeah. For crying out loud. Give me freaking Quidditch.
Didn't you
Give me
hold on.
Quidditch.
Somebody said something about DLCs coming out. I was hearing mixed things about that. Either they are or they aren't. Where'd you hear that they are?
The rumor is that the statement so far from Avalanche Games is they have no plans for a DLC. They were not expecting it to actually be this massive of a game. So they didn't actually plan for one, which on one hand, yeah, I don't really, I'm getting to the point where I'm tired of DLCs. Just give me the full game right off the bat. At the same time, you could do some cool stuff with the DLC. It doesn't have to be very massive. It doesn't have to be very expansive. And your DLCs could be like something cheap. Here's $10. Here's Quidditch, and then here's no New Game Plus. Something as simple as that. But you don't need to go all in the route of here's a brand new story for $20.
I mean, have all you guys played it?
I actually got it online. It'll probably be arriving in a couple of days, so I'll probably play it on the PS5.
So when you fly the broom, I'm not sure how those mechanics are going to work with Quidditch.
It's interesting, but figure it out. That's the whole point. Like you're meant to figure it out. You're meant to play around. You could do it with Quidditch. Like those mechanics, they're touchy, but once you figure it out, it kind of works, and you could add in different buttons like B to do the throw the ball. If you're the seeker, go do stuff like make it simple. but because of the movement of the broom, it could be fun and difficult at first. I mean, you can go to Final Fantasy X, which has this underwater soccer football. What?
Blitzball.
Yeah, Blitzball. Those mechanics are wonky at first, but once you figure it out, it's relatively simple. So you could do the same thing over here with Quidditch. It's just Blitzball, but on brooms.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So how about them Bucks?
Perhaps.
How about them
Milwaukee
Battlehawks
Bucks?
there, soldier?
Oh my God, the Battlehawks
So what do
are
you guys
fucking
say?
awesome!
What do you guys say? Meme break?
Meme break.
Yeah, meme break. Go ahead.
Meme
Yeah,
break.
my freaking phone has been blowing up in the notifications. I just checking. It's just like 16
haven't
Twitter
even-
notifications.
I haven't
Jesus
even
Christ,
looked yet.
guys.
Ooh. Grump's been doing some good work.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Tom.
Tom and a half.
Cowabunga,
Continue.
Tom
dudes.
and a half
Nice.
shell. Tom Power.
I kind of want pizza now.
Get it from Domino's.
I don't have a Domino's.
Apparently,
What the hell?
in America, Domino's is shit. Is that true? I mean,
Yes.
Yes. They're
Why
all
do I
shit.
want
Well,
pizza?
yeah, it's not as good.
It makes you feel like sand
You
on
know
the
what I
bottom.
liked about you? When I was living in Europe, I went to Domino's and you were able to get like potato wedges on your pizza, and I was like, "This is king."
So
Yeah,
when
it's
I was
not the
stationed,
same.
when I was stationed in Italy, there was a pizza, obviously real Italian pizzeria nearby, and they had an American pizza, and it was hot dog slices and French fries as toppings. That's their idea of an American pizza.
Did you ever see the Pizza Hut pizza that had hot dogs in the crust?
Ew.
No.
Yeah, I
It was
did
a
see
stuffed
that. That
crust
didn't
pizza.
sound very good.
Yeah.
oh,
cheese-
so you
the-
just
the
mean
cheese
just
filled
meat
one
in
was
the
my favorite.
crust?
Yeah, they're like little
Yeah.
hot dogs you pulled off.
That's not bad.
I think they had a
I'd try
mustard
that.
dipping sauce. Who's that Pokemon?
Okay,
Who is
who's
Wait,
that Pokemon? Everybody, guess.
Name
I
that
want to do. I want to do
Pokemon.
that right.
I think it's gonna be
Who's
something
that
racist.
Pokemon? It's Pikachu.
I actually have no idea.
That's
It's
a
Pikachu.
racism.
It's a. But you skipped
Where'd it
it.
go?
Scroll up.
God damn it!
Man, you're making me look more smart.
Do not
It-
go in there.
Actually, I meant the wrong button. I meant
There we go.
Yay!
It's
It's a-
Cricketchewy.
Oh, I thought it was Pikachu at first.
Pikachu,
Oh.
there you go. It's anti-Semitism.
We got Cocaine Monkey. I do like this one.
To be honest, I don't think I'd like that movie either.
And we got the original Cocaine Bear, but he's been taxidermied.
Pablo Escobar. I think that's his name, isn't it? Pablo Escobar.
Jokey Bear.
Yeah. What the fuck? What would you do for a Klondike bar?
What would you do for a Klondike bar?
Maybe
Get
I could put him in the
random
circle.
yes.
It's more like, what am I
Circles.
willing to take for a Klondike bar? Those are pretty good. I mean, you got to offer me something pretty damn good to make me give it up.
Give up that ass.
I guess so.
I like this one.
He can.
They're
What
gonna
the
break
fuck?
It's Dermapig.
Yeah, we give it to CJ for that. Sorry.
Oh, I'm Dermy.
Somebody clip that and put it on there.
I want a divorce.
Circles.
Come and get in a circle with me.
That circle.
What was the
It's
old
never
joke?
gonna
Why couldn't
die.
Miss Piggy talk on the phone?
Ugh.
She had a frog in her throat.
So all this discussion about about Warner Brothers, we did get some news towards the end of last week. More Lord of the Rings movies in the works as Warner Brothers Entertainment.
Yeah, because after Rings of Power, that's what everyone's calling for.
There's two schools of thought here from myself. One, it's gonna be shit. Two, they're gonna be good because they want to upstage Amazon.
Well, did they confirm Peter Jackson's gonna come back and
Peter
work
Jackson's
through
coming
this?
back. A lot of the
Oh.
original, I think, writing teams are coming back to
Yeah, what is
assist.
this Twitter reaction, by the way, of it saying it'll be diverse and stuff like that? There's been no quotes like that whatsoever, and yet people are gonna
I think
Because
calling
it's
it from the get-go. Well,
2023.
isn't it by SAG rules they have to now?
I'm seeing a lot of
That's just
black pills maybe on
ostracized.
Twitter.
It
That's why.
depends on who's saying it. First of all, Zaslav is akin to Trump, basically. Like, he's just as bad according to most of these people. So anything he does, they will try to make it sound like it's the worst thing in the world. And in that respect, but with Warner's being involved with this and James and Peter Jackson being involved, like, I don't see how this is going to be woke or any other bullshit, because they can actually use real characters that people care about.
Mm-hmm. I see it as like the people that are afraid of the woke, people that are afraid of this, like myself. Like I'm optimistic but very cautious, is because of Rings of Prime, because of what we just had, because it's 2023. I really don't want to delve back into this because the books are so good and Jackson's trilogy is so good.
And that's fair, but here's the thing we always got to remember. Rings of Power only exists because of loopholes, because of this original deal. Because Warner Brothers had all the rights to all the shit that mattered. And they reminded them by announcing the War of the Rohirrim coming out, and somebody unzipped their pants.
Oh, sorry, that was me.
That must be Dermy Wormy.
We're getting
that was me.
excited.
I'm getting ready to.
Oculus, are you sure that's not you?
No.
You've been fanboying all day today.
Soldier, calm down. Sheila isn't here.
Oh, Sheila's here. I want to have big ducks.
The thing is, with these Lord of the Rings, like, do we need more movies? No, not necessarily. Do we need something better than, if we're going to have something, do we need something better than Rings of Power? Yes. And that's what I think this will be. Definitely better than
Well, and the
Rings
beauty of
Power.
it is they're not going to remake the movies. Why would they? So it's going to be is probably stuff that takes place in between, around, during, before, after. It's hard to say. We have no idea. The beauty of it is, though, is they can use all the characters that are inherent to Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. So if they want to do a Gollum prequel, they can do a Gollum prequel if they want to, basically.
If nothing else, they should do a Tom Bombadil movie, because we never got Tom Bombadil.
There's a lot of people who brought that up as a possible thing they could do, and you never know.
Real Fall of Numenor they can do.
Yeah. Oculus, me and your brain are going the same way. They could do a similar thing to Rings of Prime, but do it better and more accurate, and just whip their big old dongs out.
Nah, they'll probably kick Jeff Bezos in the ball sacks.
Yeah. Show them that, hey, we still own this all, and we can still do this better than you.
I'm confused about the rights issue with that. So, can Warner Brothers do what Amazon is doing, like the same story? Because they have Amazon has the rights similar, and is from what I'm understanding.
They have the rights to the appendices.
They only have the rights to the appendices. So technically, these guys are right. Like, they could bring out a prequel to Lord of the Rings that's an actual prequel that covers all that stuff that's in the Silmarillion or Silmarillion. How do you say it? I can never say it right.
I can't say it either.
I know it's
Silmarillion.
Yeah, all that stuff, and any of the stuff that we saw in the beginning of Lord of the Rings, like, they could expand on any of that if they wanted to.
We could see more.
That would be huge, and a huge middle finger to Rings of Power. It's fascinating
Peter
to me
Jackson
that
involved,
they both can do the same story, essentially,
and I don't,
like the same prequel era.
And I don't see them with being Peter Jackson's involved in them remaking or wanting to remake anything. And you got to remember, these movies to Warner Brothers are like, Gone with the Wind and crap.
Mm-hmm.
They've won all kinds of Oscars and stuff. They're not that old. They don't look like they were made 30 years ago. So there's no real reason to remake them. So I get where some people are worried about it, but this is more or less, this was just a big FU to Amazon.
That's
from
how I saw
Zaslav, basically saying, we got the real Lord of the Rings, not that crap you got over there, basically, in so many words.
Isn't
Like
that
you
kind of like what Warren Beatty's doing with Dick Tracy?
Kind of. It's very similar to that. It's like the rights grab with the Fantastic Four as well, when Corman made the movie that never got released. Because that's why they made the War of the Rohirrim. Let's be real about it. It was a rights grab. They knew the rights were coming up. It had been probably 10 years or whatever since the last Hobbit movie came out. And they knew they had to do something or they were going to lapse. And with that, they were able to, and I don't know all the ins and outs. We got a video coming out because Saul Zaentz company has been in and out of court for years because they didn't know how to do anything when it came to the rights. They would think they would own something, then they wouldn't. The Hobbit rights were spread all over the place. But then finally, when they said they were going to sell it, they didn't even realize that Warner Brothers still had the rights to it. But then they figured that all out, I guess. Embracer Group bought it. They knew that they had an extension on the rights now, but they worked out whatever deal they have with them going forward. I don't know all the specifics quite yet. I'm still getting up to speed on a lot of that.
From what I know, Warner Brothers and New Line Cinema have purchased the Embracer Group, and it's called Middle Earth Entertainment.
I don't know about them buying them, but I know that the Embracer Group has started a company or something like that called Middle Earth Entertainment. Yeah.
They either bought them or they're working with them.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
I do remember in the past news cycles that Jeff Bezos essentially wants his own Game of Thrones. Now that his Rings of Power essentially, let's face it, has failed, and now Lord of the Rings is Warner Brothers is making a comeback with Lord of the Rings of their own. What do you think Amazon will move to next?
They're gonna have to
They're gonna keep going with the Lord of the Rings Amazon version of them.
Yeah,
so
I think they're contractually obligated to make so much of it already, but yeah.
They could have had that with Wheel of Time if they decided not to fuck it up.
Well, Wheel of Time was meant to be their Game of Thrones, yeah, and Conan was also. And then what's fucked up about Conan is that the guys that were working on Conan for him when they canceled it went over to work on that series that's on HBO now for Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
It was a hit last season. So
and the only reason that first season might have some issues is because of one or two people from Game of Thrones were still there. They're gone now, so the next season of House of the Dragon should be even better. So
interesting.
That's what's plan. That's what
I'm still pissed about Wheel of Time.
Yeah. And I mean, even if people are apprehensive because of The Hobbit, we always have to remember that The Hobbit was something that Peter Jackson kind of inherited, even though it was always meant to be a prequel to his films, because Guillermo del Toro or whatever had worked on it and then backed out at the last minute. And so Peter had to come in and just kind of do what he didn't get a chance to kind of make it his own, right? He was kind of just stuck doing what was already kind of preset for him. So in this case, with him and Fran Walsh and everybody being able to work on some ideas and flesh some things out, it'll be interesting to see what they come up with. I have a lot more confidence in them than I do a lot of other people in Hollywood. Like, I'll never forget that this is the guy that made like Brain Dead and The Frighteners and all the Meet the Feebles and stuff like that. Never forget that. This guy's got a dark streak in him. So yeah.
Now, do you think they'll do like because I heard April 12th, like Warner Brothers is holding like a special panel where they're gonna reveal all the information on Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, and DC. Do you think they're gonna do like a slate reveal for what they're gonna plan with the Lord of the Rings trilogy on April 12th?
I don't know if they'll go to that extent, but they might announce something because this is all still pretty early and preliminary. But yeah, I mean, they've got the time now. They could possibly beat the Rings of Power season 2 with something other than the War of Rohirrim.
Rings of Power season 2 isn't coming out for another like 2 years.
Exactly. So like, there's a chance they could sneak in here with something anyway.
Well, you got, like you said, you got War of the Rohirrim. Who knows what they're gonna do here? Just do it. This all reminds me of something that was said on actually Midnight's Edge in the Morning, I think last week or maybe the week before, where there was the rumor that Zaslav's coming in to try to fix it all and then sell it off.
There's some rumors to that effect, and some things do make sense in how they're, how far out they got James Gunn's, new series coming out as far as like the DC universe reset and all that kind of stuff. There's some speculation around it that I've posited as well, but again, there's only a few companies who could afford them, and it would have to go through a lot of red tape to happen. But it's not above the realm of possibility.
Well, when you take into account everything that they're doing to fix some stuff and make them more profitable and make them better again, make Warner great again, it might be more accurate than just a rumor. So
yeah, I mean, I kind of compared it to flipping a house, but then Valiant and a few others were in Culture Casino, like the money guys were a little bit more resistant to say that that's kind of the case. But no, I compared it to the possibility of, even though it's on a much smaller level, but like when George Lucas was selling Lucasfilm to Star Wars or Lucasfilm to Disney, they said it was only worth like $2 billion. And and Iger told him, get some Star Wars and Indiana Jones or something going, and then maybe we can get the price to go up. So what George did is he got his, treatments together for the sequels and signed up all the main cast and got Harrison Ford to sign up with the promise of another Indiana Jones as long as he do some Star Wars. And that's basically what got that price from $2 billion to $4.05 billion that he got for Lucasfilm. And I can see the same thing here. Like, you're looking at a company on a grander scale, like it's getting streamlined. They're going to try and fix HBO Max, which has been successful, but they know they can do better. They need a hit show or two. Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter are two plausibilities right there. And look, I mean, they've got IPs. What they don't have, and this is what I was talking about, they don't have like Disney has and some of the other companies, is they don't have lifestyle brand like Warner Brothers itself. But Harry Potter is a lifestyle brand, right? Like, so they have some inside there. DC can be considered a lifestyle brand of sorts. Even Lord of the Rings could be considered a lifestyle brand of sorts. And what I mean by that is they're a brand where you can pretty much plug them into any facet of your life, right? Where you have, you get up in the morning wearing your Lord of the Rings PJs, you get you get in your shower that has a Lord of the Rings shower curtain, and you get dressed with your Lord of the Rings t-shirt.
And the Lord of the Rings flamethrower.
Drinking your coffee out of your Lord of the Rings cup and whatever, all these things in your life that are not just movie related necessarily or book related, or media related, let's say. I mean, so there's a lot of other avenues that they think about when it comes to these brands now compared to what they used to be, to where Disney as a whole is one of these lifestyle brands. I mean, they have a lot of little lifestyle brands in between there, but there's a lot of Disney nerds out there where they live, eat, breathe, die Disney. And Warner doesn't have that necessarily, and they need to get that in order, and they can do that with some of these IPs, and I think that's what they're doing. And yeah, by building things up and claiming we've got all these things in the pipeline, that is a way of making it very enticing for a company. And I'll tell you, like I said, there's only a few companies that have the money to really do anything about that, and that would probably be like Apple. And then again, you're looking at some major red fucking tape. Because there's a lot of things like that. Because even people have like said Comcast, and I'm like, I don't think that can happen because Comcast already owns Universal. I don't think they'd allow them to own both. And then people bring up Disney. I'm like, yeah, but Disney's a studio. It's not a conglomerate like, Comcast is or whatever. So like, yeah, and AT&T already technically owns Warner Brothers. So to be bought out by yet another company like that, I don't see that happening. So that kind of goes against the grain of it going for sale. But either way, they know they need to get their shit in the bag.
But do you count Looney Tunes as a lifestyle brand? I mean, they got to revamp the Looney Tunes.
They could be. They have. They kind of have been of sorts, like especially back in the 90s, with the Space Jam era. But yeah.
The problem that Warner Brothers is having is they need to they're still cleaning house and stuff, but like they shut down Cartoon Network. They have other entertainment areas that they shut down, and then they still have like Velma. They still have things like that. So it's a long walk towards fixing it, but they still got to work out all the kinks.
The thing is,
Well, the beauty of things like Velma is those are also data points as well, as we pointed
Mm-hmm.
out, to where that's a way to point at something and say, well, that don't work. Right.
Yeah.
So
when on God's Earth is HBO Max coming out internationally? Because right now it's just available in America, right? I think at least.
I think it's in a few different markets, but I'm not sure exactly what markets offhand. But
It's
that
definitely
might be
not in the
also part of
UK.
the plan. Yeah, I'm surprised it's not in the UK yet.
That's been bugging me. I mean,
You-
they
you-
have some good stuff in there.
Yeah, they
Better
do.
than Disney Plus or your Netflix and stuff like that.
I use HBO Max religiously. I use it more than Netflix. I'll go to Netflix now and then, but I'm always on HBO Max.
HBO is by far the best streaming platform there is.
Same here, yeah. They're the best, like for all like the movies
Yeah.
and shows they put.
Yeah, like
on.
content wise, yeah.
I
And
love,
plus
on
it's
Netflix,
the
I
I
love
can
how
look
they
for
have,
hours through shit, you know.
I love how they have like a DC oriented one where you can actually look through all the DC stuff.
Yeah.
That's actually
Agreed.
my favorite area. I go back to the animated movies and TV shows a lot.
Well, speaking of DC and things of that nature, we had a superhero thing come out last weekend.
Ha 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 ha.
Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania delivers cautionary box office win for Marvel Studios. It wasn't a win.
This is the Hollywood Reporter article. Oh no, are they already backtracking? They've been licking the boot of Disney last time.
Yeah.
And now they're doing this.
Well, they can't really hedge much more than they already have on this. I mean,
Yeah.
because guess what, kids? What I predicted is coming to be.
Yeah.
Cocaine Bear is now officially pulled ahead of Ant-Man by just a few
Oh my God.
$100,000.
Oh, Bob
I predicted this could happen.
Yep.
And I'm
Yeah,
surprised, but yeah, at the same time.
Bob Iger's going to be
forgot to
livid
bring that
about
up.
this. I mean, I don't know what his reaction is going to be. Anyways, like bring Kevin Feige to his office and have an important talk about
Well,
this.
not just that. How are you going to explain to your boss that not only did you lose to a second weekend box office, but a R-rated movie called fucking Cocaine Bear is going to be the first thing he's going to say
Yeah.
is,
No.
how the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. And Tom, as well, it's they're gonna learn this lesson from it. Okay, so maybe we should have included a bit on cocaine in the Ant-Man movies. Lesson learned the hard way, unfortunately. That's all they're gonna learn from it. That's the worry.
Came back.
Now, I don't know what the
Cocaine
third
Bear
week's going to
step
look
on
like
Ant.
with this film.
I mean,
Like,
I don't think
after-
Ant-Man would be much more entertaining if it had a bear on cocaine, but you know.
Probably
plus
would've been
eight.
more
Small time
entertaining.
Republic. You're right. It should be destroying Cocaine Bear, but it seems like they spent the money on movies elsewhere instead of on Ant-Man.
Ant-Man and Wasp did have a bear mode on ass.
With circular cheeks.
You're right, though, that yes, Ant-Man should be winning.
You know what I just thought of? His ass in that movie. You know what it made me think of?
What?
He had Hank Hill's ass. That's Hank Hill's ass. That's what they must have modeled it off of.
I'm pretty sure like Creed 3 is coming out in a couple of days, so what's that gonna do to Ant-Man? It's just everyone's gonna forget about it.
Well,
be
Creed
a
3
fun-
has an uphill battle going into it because, I mean, I don't know how much the general audience knows, but a lot of the nerdy audience knows that Sly has nothing to do with this, and he has denounced it.
Yeah.
If they
Not
kill
helping.
if they kill off Rocky, then that movie's not going to do it.
They
I think
did.
they-
I think that's
They did in the second one, I
plot.
think.
No, he's
Really?
still in the second
No,
one.
he makes it
but
through. That's the thing I think that'll piss people off because he actually beat cancer in the second Creed
Yeah.
film.
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone's
Now
thinking
he's
they're
just
probably
gone.
going to kill him in the third.
No, like I said, I think he's already gone. I think it
He's not
starts
in
out
it.
with he's talking about
Um,
that I miss him type thing.
I did listen to Jeremy Jones' review of Creed 3, and he did say Rocky's not in it. Whether he's dead or alive is the ambiguous point, of course. So
Okay, well, if he's dead, the movie's dead. I think it's going to piss too many people off.
Yeah.
Oh
And they
yeah,
got,
I've
like-
said that already. Yeah.
What's John Wick coming in a couple weeks as well?
Yep.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
that-
Yeah, because if
yeah,
word
that-
gets out that they killed Rocky off screen with no funeral, or they start the movie with a funeral and we don't ever get to see Sly, that is going to, if that leaks out, people are going to be pissed.
Yep. I won't see it.
I won't. I was looking at Creed 3 thinking, it could be fun. It could be different than everything else we're getting. And now hearing that Rocky's not in it, I'm like...
I loved Creed 2. I hated the first one. I mean, a lot of people liked it, so I just kind of kept to myself about it. I'm like, yeah, it's just Rocky Ray-Do with a lot of things I would have done differently. Because, A, she didn't have to make Apollo have an illegitimate child, for one. You could have just had it be one of his other kids who just wants to get out from under his shadow, which would be a reversal on the role of Rocky, right? Like, you know, you could have done it something similar but different, and it worked just fine. And in Creed 2 picks up where it doesn't really freaking matter anyway what happened in the last movie, because now it's more about Drago, his ex-wife, his kid, and that's what I love about it. And then Rocky battling cancer and all that kind of stuff.
All I remember from the first one is them recreating the run scene where everyone crowds with him, but in this one they have motorcycles doing fucking wheelies.
And that's where I lost it. I'm like, dude,
I was so
I'm like,
bad.
how are people thinking this is a great movie? I'm like, this is the same movie. It's just Rocky, only worse.
Worse, absolutely.
I think what it is, though, is Michael B. Jordan in that situation. Like, Michael B. Jordan is a charismatic figure.
He is.
He has pull and strength. So I think that's what people really like about it. I mean, that, for crying out loud, people like Black Panther, and it was solely because of him.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was a good movie.
The thing is, I reckon Creed 3 is going to leave Ant-Man 3 in the dust.
Oh, yeah.
Once it opens, essentially.
Potentially.
I mean, if Cocaine Bear's doing it, for Christ's sake, then...
That's the thing is, I wouldn't underestimate Cocaine Bear having a bump next weekend, pun intended.
I'm thinking I'm going to see it next Friday.
Well, because it opened up on 3,000 screens for its preview. It dropped another 800 some screens. There's still quite a few hundred screens in America alone that it could open up on, because most of these movies average 42 to 4,500 screens when they open wide. If Ant-Man tanks this weekend, that means bigger screens are going to open up next weekend. Then that means that Creed will go in the bigger screens, and they'll have some extra screening rooms probably for Cocaine Bear that weren't there because of Ant-Man. Because that's the thing. I still think that Megan would have done much better at the box office had they waited another week or two to drop it. Because at that point, Avatar, they had deals that James Cameron and Disney had put through that they had to keep that movie in the big theaters for 30 days. They could not move it. So that means that I talked to at least one person, and I think at least one other person had indicated similar things, that they were saying that they had bigger screens that had Avatar in them that were only a half full or not even very full, but yet they were selling out Megan in every screen it was in.
Yeah.
Let me
I do know that essentially Disney have been essentially telling cinemas, all right, Ant-Man has got to go on the IMAX screen for this amount of days.
Yep.
No other movies are allowed to. And I think that's why I reckon Creed 3 is going to essentially put up a punch, because that was filmed for IMAX as well.
And it's probably timed for when Ant-Man's moratorium is over for the big screens. And that's what I was thinking is, so this weekend, then they'll pull all the smaller screens from Ant-Man, because it has big screens, 3D screens, and your standard screens. So a lot of those 3D and standard screenings are going to get pulled this week, probably, if they haven't already this weekend.
Yeah, definitely.
Because for instance, like, just so you know, like when they can do these things, because like I remember when Joker came out, when I bought my tickets online, there was only 2 screens showing Joker. By the time I got to the theater, every screen was showing Joker except for one, and I can't remember what movie it was. It was whatever Marvel movies out at that time. And I'm like, Jesus, it might. I don't think it was Eternals, was it?
Because
it was a year before.
Joker came out in 2019.
It might have been Venom or something like that. I can't remember. It was like, it might not even have been a proper MCU film. It was just one other film that was still playing in one theater alone. I'm like, holy crap. Because I looked up and I'm like, because I was rushing to get there. I'm like, I didn't have to rush. Evidently, I could have gone to a screening at 7:05, 7:30, 7:35. Like they added like so many screenings just in that night because they were selling out so many tickets. I mean, but that was a lucky situation where that was the big movie opening that weekend. So again, Cocaine Bear, like Megan, has had this stunted situation where it's dealing with a bigger film that's out there right now. But next weekend, I don't know. Does Creed open this next weekend or the weekend after?
I think it's 1st of March. I think so.
So next weekend.
Okay, so it's coming right up here this weekend. So it's going to be hard to say. See, it could be a battle for top spot between Creed and Cocaine Bear, and Ant-Man ain't going to have a shot.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious what's going to happen. What I heard, and I heard this on FNT last night, some theaters are already tearing down like the Ant-Man stuff and putting back up Avatar 2.
I wouldn't be surprised. Well, there could be that too, but if that had a bump instead, or they were selling better screenings of that with say if they had an IMAX that pulled Ant-Man or Avatar for Ant-Man, if they get permission from Disney, they could possibly do that if they were making more money the other way around. I can see that.
The thing is with Ant-Man, right? The only people that I see going to see it are just kids, really, teenagers, who obviously stay after the credits. Not really like the adult audience. The adult audience, I think, is shifting much more to Cocaine Bear. You can really, I think the numbers really support that point, essentially. And
I'd even argue that there's a good chunk of whatever Ant-Man's making that are just kids paying for Ant-Man and sneaking into Cocaine Bear.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding in the least. People say that, but no. Especially in bigger cities, they do tend to card kids in bigger cities, especially now when everything's done online with the apps and stuff. I've heard, I mean, I've only gone to a few movies since they've done, like in America, it was weird because Andre's like, what do you mean you don't have assigned seating? Just recently in most cities around here, they've just started doing assigned seating. So like, this is kind of a new trend for us here. And yeah, so like I'm not used to that stuff, and it's still, to me, it's kind of dumb because it takes me twice as long to get in the theater. But anyway,
I don't.
Thanks, Samuel. Enjoy your show. I did see the tweet out. I'll drop by after the stream. Hop in chat.
It's Samuel, not Samael.
But yeah, so since you can buy tickets online now, I guess they're really checking people's IDs to make sure they're old enough to get in the movie.
It depends on what theater you go to. Like if you're going to AMC, you have to choose a seat.
Right.
You have to choose it. But if you're going to like one of my local theater, which is 30 minutes away, which is some strip mall theater that's actually still pretty popping, and they survived COVID by showing old Star Wars all over again. You go there, you buy a ticket, you go sit down. It's not as fancy as an AMC, but it's still super nice, and it's supporting a local chain. So that's what I like.
Yeah, there's still some first come, first serve. Don't get me wrong. It's just, it's becoming more of the norm now, as opposed to where because Andre was just kind of confused because he's like, we've had it that way forever. I'm like, well, not over here. Like it used to be first come, first serve in most cases. So I didn't have to start I try to remember the first time. It was more recently, but it was like for one of the Marvel movies, I had to reserve my tickets. I'm like, what the hell is this shit all about?
I had to do that a lot for the Rift tracks, but that's because it's a one-time national.
Well, those are through Fandango. That I remember having to do online once or twice, but that's like you said, a little bit different situation.
Reminds me, I need to back their Kickstarter. Just started a few days ago.
Now, do you think the Ant-Man 3 would probably be doing like a 45-day window and then go straight to Disney Plus after it bombs?
I think they stopped
potentially.
Doing that.
So I can see that happening.
They did put Strange World up pretty early. Like it seems to be the norm. Like if a movie doesn't play, and it, because even I think Black Panther was in that kind of a window. I don't know if it was 45. I think it was 60 days, but it came up pretty quick. I know that. Maybe it was only 45.
Because you're probably going to see Ant-Man in that 45-day window when it bombs hard.
I wouldn't doubt it if that's the case. Because they already got Black Panther up there.
Well, Tom,
I actually had a question. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna. You go first. I was working.
No, it's fine, Derms.
I was working on a segue.
That's exactly what I was doing. Go ahead.
Okay, well, Tom, you're a fan of Taylor Sheridan, and you you're speaking about how Paramount Plus is this kind of hidden gem because of Taylor Sheridan and the stuff he's doing over there. Have you seen Tulsa King yet?
Have I seen Tulsa King? Yes.
Yes. Would you say
that was actually the show? That's actually the show that got me into Taylor Sheridan. Would I say it's woke?
Yeah.
No, I think what's his face is redonkulous.
Yep, that's exactly where we're going to. Jack Posobiec.
Jack Posobiec, yeah. I don't know what he's up to here, what he's trying to prove, if he's trolling, what. If anybody understands it, please explain it to me, because
it's one of the reasons why
I think it's peak conservative culture. See a clip from something and then make a reaction.
Let me give you
video.
guys a bit of context. I think first he was bitching about Yellowstone, essentially. I think the most recent season has gone maybe a little long. I have no idea. No one watches Yellowstone here. And from that, I think he essentially moved on to other, what's his name? Taylor Sheridan. Is that how you pronounce his name?
Taylor Sheridan.
Taylor Sheridan projects. And now it's just got a freaking Tulsa King in his teeth. And it's just like, oh, this is woke as well. I've been memeing the shit out of Yellowstone, so why not meme this as well? And the thing is, it strikes me that it doesn't strike me as he watched the show, like, at all. He's just reacting to the clips, but he treats it as if he's watched it and just, now I have declared this as woke. It's just, oh, fuck off. Really?
Yeah,
kind of right.
I think somebody's sending in the clips, perhaps. You could be right, because, look, I mean, Taylor takes looks at all angles in a lot of ways, but if one thing the shows are not, they're definitely not woke.
Exactly.
And they do definitely lean more conservative. I mean, Christ, even Kevin Costner's character runs as a Republican governor. Like, I mean,
yeah. If I can say something, Rox, I know like you were kind of hammering on this idea that there's this these hardcore conservatives that now they're just calling everything woke. I get the criticism. I get where there's a lot of people getting that criticism, but as somebody who I still consider myself conservative, although I'll say that fiscally conservative, socially liberal. I don't care who you bang, just don't push it on kids and all that kind of stuff. That's my opinion. But I think that the mentality and why there's so much people like Posobiec here who's attacking this, and like you said, that is probably because he saw some clips, is because we've dealt with this ridiculous wokeism in our media so much that now anytime we see any kind of references of homosexuality or racism or anything else, that we immediately get that we are now at this point where we're getting triggered because we're so sick and fucking tired of this woke shit that we're trying to call it out as much as possible. Now, is he wrong in saying this? Absolutely, because this show is not woke. Yellowstone is not woke. Is there some messaging in there? Like in Yellowstone, I can't stand the Native American wife in there and her fucking constant.
I don't think anybody can.
Oh, the white man is so bad because how they treated
you know what's
it,
beautiful? She's constantly proven wrong.
Yeah,
in a roundabout way, and it's the same thing with Piper Parable's character in the last season here too.
Yeah,
like she's like supposed to be this activist, and she quickly starts to get taught how shit really works, and she's kind of swinging her character around a bit.
Yeah.
So again, I'm not sure where he's getting this shit from.
It's something with politicos. Now, I don't know what it is with conservative politicos or what. They'll see a show and they'll get all the wrong messaging from it, or they'll be like, oh, it's great. Oh, it's shit. It's woke. It's this or that. And it's so weird. Like, you can take Glenn Beck likes the Star Wars sequels and he thinks they're amazing. You get freaking Tim Pool talks about, I don't remember one of the shows he talked about recently. It was Strange Worlds. And he said it bombed. Maybe that's because we're all racist. Now you got Jack Posobiec saying this stuff. Politicos just can't understand pop culture for some reason.
Yeah, well, this is like the other extreme to me. I mean, to me, this is the same as when we tell people not to be, jumping at ghosts. Look, like you guys said, we're so used to automatically getting that knee-jerk reaction when you hear, oh, there's a gay representation, or there's a this or a that. It's like, no, that's not necessarily a problem. It's how it's handled, right? It's how these characters are represented, and are they just their identity? Is the character's identity just that they're gay? or is there something more to it, right? Like that's what matters. Like,
Right.
and the thing about Tulsa King and all these other shows, any number of these characters could be gay. I have no idea if they are because it hasn't come to a point where it's been important. In fact, I'll be honest with you, I actually thought that the one brother on the lawyer brother on Yellowstone was gay until he actually finally got a girlfriend. I shit you not, because of the way Elizabeth always fucked with him and the shit she would say. I kind of thought, oh, he does kind of act that way, so maybe he is. But it didn't fucking matter because it wasn't part of the show until, oh, he got with a chick now. Okay, so he isn't gay. That's the only time I ever thought about it.
Yeah.
Well,
I
not only
think
that, she throws some shit at him that, like, if this show's woke, what the hell? Like, okay, yes, here's one thing I will say Taylor Sheridan does have an issue with. He does have a bit of a Mary Sue problem, but I don't think it's a thing of trying to, like, make women out to be more than they are. I think it's just that he doesn't quite know how to write them as characters yet. He's still learning. So, like, this, especially like Ellie from 1883 has a major Mary Sue problem, right? She's good at everything right away without trying.
Yep. Agreed.
Beth, on the other hand, has some Mary Sue problems, but some people are like, well, she's not an
extremely damaged character.
She's a damaged character, but that we got to remember that just because something happens to a character does not mean they're not necessarily a Mary Sue. We got to remember that. What makes them a Mary Sue is how they handle said things and how they handle adversity, and do they actually have to handle adversity? It's like if they pick up a gun and they're automatically good at it, then that means that's not having to learn how to shoot, right? And Ellie was a great example of that, unfortunately, in 1883. Although I like the character, a lot of people did. They didn't notice that. But then you've got stuff like this, and I'm glad, Jeremy put this up because this was another clip that I retweeted months ago. This is what, I was watching the show and this clip happened, and I'm like, oh my God, is this guy listening to us or what? Because, like, I mean, this is just an amazing thing. And the show's full of this kind of stuff.
What's going on with this country in general nowadays?
It gets funny. I do like this. So it's Sylvester Stallone's character talking about pronouns. You want to continue it?
It's joking on woke culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can get help from Paramount.
Seriously, come on. And these pronouns. What the fuck is with the pronouns? He, the, boom, bang, bop, bang, cool. You know what my pronoun is? Yes. Time's up. It, as in it, can't take this shit anymore.
He's thrown out of his mind, by the way, as well.
How can you say that this show is fucking woke after just that alone, right?
You can't.
Well, you have tons of people dunking on Posobiec. You had Jeremy with the clip and also saying another out of touch right winger. Maybe do some research before you start trying to call out wokeness. Tulsa King is amazing. Yeah. That umbrella guy. Tulsa King isn't woke. Stallone's character spends 25 years in jail and finds himself displaced not only in the mafia but the world. He first encounters words like gangster, later things like triggered, and much of it confuses or pisses him off. The quartering. What is happening? Tulsa King is not woke. I mean, at Nerdrotic, at Yellowfash, at D-Day Cobra, and myself would have already made a dozen get woke or broke videos if it were, right?
Well, not just that. It was like we wouldn't even be talking about it. It wouldn't be. I mean, and I think maybe it's just because it's so popular. But I wish he would knock it off because he is doing exactly what the other side says that we are, or anybody on that side of the aisle could be, or anybody who's against any of the woke culture is, because that's not who we are, right?
Yeah.
And these little tidbits that he's picking out of it are completely out of context.
Yeah, the thing is, all right, defending a black guy from racist treatment, that's not a woke moment, dude. It's just not. I don't know how to explain to you. Wokeness is like propaganda, essentially. It's in your face, and it's meant to make you believe that everyone believes this absurdity or this absurd thing about radical leftism, essentially. That's what I picture leftism as, wokeism as. And Jack over here is just all of these pop culture, all of these conservative media types, like your Matt Walsh, your Ben Shapiro, and your Jack Posobiec, they're all pop culture illiterate. they have no idea when it comes to pop culture. Like, if they would see me in my Spider-Man t-shirt or my Spider-Man room, they'd completely laugh. I mean, they despise nerddom. They despise anything to do with popular culture, and which is why they're kind of losing the culture war on that front. And they're an absolute joke when they make these kinds of comments. They just come off as their old grandparents that say, "Oh, video games cause violence" or some shit. It's just fuck off.
That's a
I
great
don't watch the show.
example.
Yeah. But you could tell he didn't watch the show. You can really tell.
Well, if he did, he's definitely.
I did watch Hell's King. I watched it a little bit. I watched like one clip. But this was total woke nonsense, and I really can't understand why anyone would want to watch this stupid filth at all.
Oh, I'm sorry to say that.
Well, Pasobik clapped back at both Jeremys, actually. He clapped back at D-Day Cobra, Geeks and Gamers. Wow, you found one clip where he says something about pronouns. The rest of the show is completely woke. You are a fool and
oh my god, there's projection and a half right there, because really that's exactly what Jack is doing. Yeah. He's finding a few select clips that supposedly support his argument, where if you actually watch the show, that's really not the case, right? Like, the closest he has is the scene where he shows where the one dude, I can't remember the guy's name. I think it's Tyler's, or I can't remember what it is. It's not Tyler, but it's something like that. The black kid that they just showed in the one picture before, where he's the driver, right? Mm-hmm. You have the scene where he comes in and he tries to buy the car and he gets treated like dirt. So then Sly comes back and kicks the shit out of the redneck car dealer, right? He's trying to say that scene is woke. Like you guys said, that isn't. The other scene that he brought up that is even remotely close to it and he's trying to say is woke is when that same character is giving shit to the white kid in the fucking weed dispensary for dressing like a Rastafarian and a gangster.
Yeah. I just watched the episode where they're teaching the weed guys how to shoot, and I thought this was going to turn to an anti-gun thing because Mr. Weed Shop owner, he's like, I don't like guns, I don't want to shoot guns. But then the tattooed and pierced chick, who's also like I've always thought comes off as like a libtard on the show, she grabs a gun, starts turning to a fucking badass, and it's not because just whammon can shoot and she's good at everything. She has a tragic backstory and her dad taught her how to shoot. And all of a sudden it turns around like, that's fucking awesome. This was, again, another example where it looks like they're putting liberal shit in there, but then it turns it around.
We do have one other person that decided to dunk. Jeremy's response? Here. I was about to pull up one other person that had a thing, but his response was something that Jack hasn't even talked about.
Oopsies.
Man, it's almost like
that white
there's
power
things from his past. But he did respond to other quartering saying, how is this not woke? We have this whole back and forth now. It is.
This is no. I made a rant about it on Twitter. This is just...
Yeah, I have it right here.
You do.
Our good little pop culture friend. Oh, look at it.
Well, and here's the thing that is part of the problem too with the whole seeing ghosts thing, and I hate guys like this making everything out to have some just because it has a gay character or a black character in it, it's woke. That is not the case. We have never had a problem with representation. Our argument is you're already getting representation, so what more do you fucking want? Oh, we see what you want. You want to take over. That's what it is. Gotcha. So that's the problem. It's the taking over aspect and changing everything. It's like not so bad enough that you want to have a character that's this or that or the other that represents. You want to destroy what came before it. Gotcha. So this guy is just trying to do that to this show for some fucking reason, and he's making anybody who tries to call anything woke look like a fucking moron. So he's really hurting the cause, if anything. And that's what bothers me, because this is what I try to argue with a lot of people is like, just you got to remember, just because something may be one way or the other doesn't necessarily mean it's woke. You got to be careful, or we're going to get accused of the things that they're saying we're doing, and they're right. You can't just jump at something just because it's got a black character in it, just because it's got a gay character in it. Who cares? How are they represented? Guess what? You took two scenes out of an entire show to try and constitute your fucking argument. Whoopity-doo. And without context. And now you've made a lot of people look stupid because of it. And I mean, granted, it's his fucking opinion, but at the end of the day, I don't see his argument, and it's really just redonkulous.
Ignorant. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
So-
just
yeah,
annoyed
that's,
about his most
It would
recent.
be equally as dumb. It would be equally as
Yellowstone.
dumb. Sorry, I was just gonna say it would be equally as dumb as somebody who's woke or SJW trying to come out and say that Velma isn't woke.
Hey,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
happened.
Great point.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's just
Jack is
secretly
just
concerned.
annoyed that his recent Yellowstone season was shitty, and that's why he's just essentially going after Yellowstone-esque shows.
I
That's
believe
what I'm
it was the worst season so far, but that's not saying. I mean, it's still great TV.
Mm.
It's just dragging on a little bit. That's my only complaint.
Yeah.
It's I'm trying to think my words here. It's this weird thing that you were pointing out about that you don't need to complain about just having representation. That's not our argument. You take a look at like Hogwarts Legacy. Some people are mad at Hogwarts Legacy because hey, there's Serona and Serona is a trans. You get people arguing because you have this comment where somebody says, "Hey, I have a wife," and it's some female, and it's 1980s. No, 1890s is this timeline, so it doesn't make sense. But just because you have one or two things doesn't diverge from the story. It's the story that ultimately matters. Just because you have some representation isn't the end of the world.
I think that's the point I think a lot of us are making. We don't care. If it's a good story, it's a good story. Like, it doesn't make it woker. I mean, now I kind of want to watch this show.
Definitely give it a watch.
Tulsa
No,
King is
it's great.
amazing. It's the closest thing I would say to like if GTA had a TV show. This is it. Like I want a GTA based on like this storyline now. Like it feels like that. And you know, it's the great part is I don't know, like 1883 is another one where like I don't know if you guys have ever played the Oregon Trail. That old video game. That
Oregon
show is
or
basically
Oregon?
the Oregon Trail, however you say it. Sorry.
Well, there's
My
two.
damn accent.
I'm not joking. Like there's Oregon and then there's Oregon. So Oregon is the older version, and then Oregon Trail is a zombified version of it.
No, not the zombie game.
Okay.
I have never heard of this.
Me
I wanna
neither. It's the
play it.
first I've ever heard about it.
It's the exact same thing, just
But
with
anyway,
zombies.
1883 is
amazing.
ostensibly like if you were going to make the Oregon Trail into a show. Like
Yep.
that's really what it is. And Yellowstone, look, I get the appeal of it. I like it. I got sucked into it. It's basically Dynasty meets like Godfather on a ranch with some more of the roses in there. It's all these things that, you know, were big shows back in the day, or not Dynasty Dallas. Sorry, not Dynasty. But wait, hell, even a little bit of Dynasty in there.
I never got into it. I need to get into it. My family loves the show. My family loves all these Taylor Sheridan shows that are coming out. Something that I just never sat down and actually watched it. And because they're always well ahead of me, I'm like, well, I want to start from the beginning. And also,
Well, the beauty of it is they're not very long because they're only like 10 episodes a season. So
the beauty of it is also achieved in getting Gary to admit that not all prequels are shit.
yes, this is very true. Well, and not only that, there's the other thing, and this, I don't know why Jack is making such a big deal out of it, because this show has shown that Hollywood and other places, and this is why Paramount's had so much success, to get back to the original point, and that is that there is a thing called Middle America. You know, this thing between the coasts where there's a lot more people who watch a lot of TV. And guess what? They eat shit like this up. Right?
Yes, we do. We want to be entertained. We want to be represented is not the same word as like the woke version of represented. We just want people to say, hey, here's something for you to watch. Have some fun. When we talk about representation, we want to say, hey, we still exist. It's not just New York and California. Kansas is a thing. Colorado is a thing. Missouri is a thing.
Ohio is not a thing.
Ohio, yeah, according to a lot of things, but that's a discussion for another stream.
Right.
We just want to be entertained. We want to quit being pandered to by the California elites because we don't really like them. We don't like New York people either. We just want to have fun.
Yep.
And be shown shit that we like. We don't always want to sit down and be preached to and talk about our white privilege all day long. Because a lot of us, we don't see that because we're outside working with our hands all day long.
On my mouse.
Yep.
I don't need to know what you. I don't need to know what you do with your mouse and stylus. Clip it! Clip it! Clip it!
Damn it! Fuck! Why did I do that? I know better.
And got it.
It's all right. I got you in your little chair.
Yeah, you do got me in my tiny little chair.
All right. Yeah, I'll say to wrap up this conversation, if I could. I think I heard. I think it was on Geeks and Gamers Tuesday Night Main Event about a week or two ago, and they're talking about the difference between having like Tom was saying, like the gay representation, black representation, all that in a movie versus forcing it in your face and saying they're here or they're special in some way because of that. That's the woke messaging. Just because a character is gay does not make it woke. Episode 3 of The Last of Us is fucking woke as shit because the entire episode was just because they were a gay couple. Fuck that. We don't want to see it. It's not entertaining. But yeah, there is a big difference. You know, I understand again why people are sick and tired of having shit shoved in their face. So when they see a lot of representation of a race or a sex or gender or whatever the fuck, then they're going to assume it's woke. It's not necessarily. It is about the messaging. That's what's really important.
No, and I don't know if you guys, I doubt you've seen this because not too many people have. It's a lower level B type show, but the Chucky series. Has anybody here seen it?
Heard
me?
about it.
Not yet.
No.
Okay, well, the first season, there was a lot of people calling it woke, and I had to have the same kind of arguments we were just having about it because it's like, no, just because it has gay characters in it doesn't make it woke. There's only a couple times where that becomes a point, and when it does, it actually plays into the story or a joke or what have you, to where it's, you know, a momentary thing and then you move on. Now, get to the second season, though, unfortunately, I haven't gotten past the first episode because the first episode is completely revolving around this gay couple's relationship. It's like, I would be saying the same thing if it was a cis quote unquote couple relationship, because I don't give a shit about that. I want to see Chucky. That's the thing. I came to the show to see Chucky. I didn't come to this show for a romance, regardless of who it is. And the fact that it is like this woke thing that you now are making it that it wasn't last season is really bothering me. And I hope it gets better. I will give it another shot. But like, that's what I enjoyed about it, because it's like, here's a good representation of having new characters that happen you have a couple of them that happen to actually be gay. And it's not the center of the fucking show. Right? It's a side story. They deal with it and it's over with. But then that first episode, when they come back to the show after the second season, it's all revolved around them. And it's like, get past it. Come on.
Well, a good example, I guess, is the that Cabin in the Woods sequel. When I heard that the main characters is a gay couple, immediately my reaction is, okay, this is going to be woke. They're going to make that a major plot point. But apparently people who've watched the movie said it is a good movie, and it does. And sure, they're gay, but it's not actually a plot point in the movie. So
wait, there's a Cabin in the Woods sequel?
Oh, like a remake or a sequel, yeah.
I don't know how it is related, but yeah, it's something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Halloween Kills.
The horror movie?
Yeah, they did it. It was really weird. It was just a couple of years back, and nobody went and saw it. Because the original one had like Chris Hemsworth in it, didn't it?
The thing with Cabin in the Woods thing, my main worry was never that it was going to be woke or anything, but M. Night Shyamalan, his Glass movie really annoyed me. That was terrible.
Oh, you're thinking about Knock at the Cabin.
Knock at the Cabin.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a different movie.
Because Cabin in the Woods. Huh.
Yeah, go on.
I'm trying to think because I haven't heard of a Cabin in the Woods 2, and I love Cabin in the Woods.
It's not really a Cabin in the Woods 2. They did do like, because you've seen the original, right, with like Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fantastic
like
movie.
3-4 years ago, maybe a couple more, they did one of those sequel/rebootquels where they didn't give it anything more than the same fucking title for some reason. and it just didn't do anything. So like that's probably why you haven't heard about it. Like, yeah, it's out there, but like, yeah, I don't know if it has any real connection to the original other than the storyline. So yeah.
All right, well, Tom,
Well,
I
then.
want to thank you
So
for
Jared.
indulging us. Oculus has something he would like you
He
to
does.
Well, before that, I want to
to
give
read.
like a statement. Like Tom has one of the most funniest impressions, like I said earlier in the show. I mean, a whole bunch. Like eventually, I mean, I want to do like more of these stories, but I'm not a script writer. I just did my best, like just to write a short story with Tom's like funniest voices that he can use. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present to you my sort of script that I read with this.
So, Soldier, would you mind being the thing in the, or animal in this?
Okay.
Actually, I was thinking of like doing like Tom doing the animal and Kermit because he can do.
Oh,
I
he's
can do
doing
that
all
if
of
you
them.
want.
Yeah.
Miss Piggy is the only one I can't really do, but are we gonna have
Okay,
a narrator
Oculus, you
too?
tell
Dermot can be
you
Piggy.
pick whoever you want to do the voices, and we'll go
No.
from there.
Now for narration, I think I just like Tom to do like some sort of serious like badass like narration going on.
All right.
Well, you can always get Morgan Freeman to do it.
I'll do Miss Piggy for you. How about that?
You got no, we got
You do Miss
CJ.
Piggy.
Oh,
Yeah.
CJ's doing Miss Piggy. Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Whoever's doing
whenever
it,
you're ready,
yeah.
Tom.
All right. Our story starts off in the 1990s, where Kermit is entering his home after work. Feeling exhausted, he starts laying on the couch and calls his wife Miss Piggy. Miss Piggy, I'm home. Fucking bitch. Miss Piggy, I'm home. After his second time calling her out, he heard something upstairs in her bedroom. Kermit's curiosity went from confusion to suspicion as he enters the room and sees Miss Piggy role-playing as a normal pig and animal wearing a BDSM lion costume, implying that Miss Piggy had sex with Animal and cheating on Kermit. Oh, you fucking bitch! Animal, that's my wife! You fucking cocksucker! I'm gonna hit you with this bat!
No, Kermit! This isn't what you look like! I swear to Christ, Kermit!
Shut the fuck up, cunt! I know something was wrong. Between us, I knew something was wrong between us lately, but I'm starting to think it's time for a divorce, or better yet, I'll tell the whole neighborhood that my best friend is fucking my wife whore.
Oh, Kermit, bigger dick! We had sex with me more often! None of this would have happened! But no! You didn't treat your kids with respect! I literally treated them like shit! I never gave any attention to me at all!
What kids? They all came out as mutants and died 5 minutes afterwards. The reason I didn't want to have sex with you is because I'd rather fuck a big booty bitch and pound my Muppet meat rather than a Lizzo-sized bitch like you that sits in her pig pen and eats literal shit.
Sorry.
You shut the fuck up. Kermit swings the bat at Animal's head and immediately kills him. And you know what? Fuck you, bitch. I'm taking the kids, well, what's left of them, and I never want to see your ass again.
Shoot him! I'm calling the police!
Wait, there's another page. Hang on.
Oh my
Jesus.
So Kermit screams at the top of his Muppet lungs to the whole neighborhood that Miss Piggy fucked Animal just for her to be embarrassed. This led to a group of families and neighbors, mostly all of Jim Henson's characters, celebrities, including Bill Cosby, Katy Perry. Well, Bill Cosby's got little to say about this. Katy Perry, Carrot Top, and Pee Wee Herman, all shocked, scared, and confused by what's going on. Jesus Christ, Kermit. What the fuck did you do? People are recording you. This is worse than the time I killed that hooker.
Chicken hooker.
Fuck you, you dick bent bitch. Should have gone to the hospital and got nasal surgery to fix your dick bent nose. Wow, Kermit, that really hurt, man. Who wants to do Fozzie?
Okay, I get a lot of shit for making jokes during a bad situation, but hurting your friends and feeling would make me give you a waka waka on your ass.
Try me, motherfucker. As Kermit prepares to hit Fozzie in the face with his baseball bat, the police arrive with a taser, and they take him to court. Several weeks later, Miss Piggy and Kermit settle for a divorce, leading to Miss Piggy having the kids owning the house to themselves. This is on some scam thing, sorry, or screenshot. Gonzo decides to get plastic surgery and got a new nose. As for Kermit, he got out of prison for first-degree manslaughter and went to Detroit and became a drug dealer selling his drug called Rainbows. But later died of that drug. Yeah. I was gonna say, I mean, how do you get off of that one?
Oh my God. For everybody who enjoyed that live, enjoy it because the C word was used, and YouTube will probably hit this channel for it.
No, that's
so
why
we might have to clip it out.
Oh yeah.
So
man.
for everybody who was able to watch it live, I hope you enjoyed that. That was a very interesting insight to Oculus's mind.
That was something.
Oh, it was. Oh, I got more.
I call this piece pig in a blanket.
So at this point, we're nearing the end of the show. I want to make sure everybody has their intros or their outros, and make sure to promote whatever it is you guys are doing. We'll start off with CJP. You got anything else coming up in the works?
Well, I said I'll have the compilation coming out here in the next week or so. Once I get it finished up, then I'll be on ETEP's channel tonight for Saturday night's main event, and then I'm actually joined as a permanent co-host on Monday nights as well as the Wednesday night show that he does. So just come check us out there. I do have a Bandcamp, so you can actually purchase some music if you want to support your local artists. That's what you do. Support your local artists. But yeah, other than that, I had a lot of blast here. It's great to meet you, Tom. I've been following you for several years now, so it's good to actually talk
Good
face
to meet you guys.
Devil made me do it. You got any projects coming up or anything?
Yeah, I'll be on Soldier's stream tonight, and otherwise that here next week. But yeah, Devil Made Me Do It, Nalec3 on the Twitters. If you like memes, check me out, and see you next week.
Nice problem child icon, by the way.
Thanks.
How's your
Oculus? Thank you for that wonderful script, and I appreciate Tom Connors for reading that.
I know, because this is only the beginning if he's interested in this. But I don't know. I mean, you can follow me on Twitter. I actually reached the 400 followers this time.
Very nice.
Yeah. But I don't know. I had a blast. I had a blast with Tom and all the topics that we discussed. And yeah, I'm pretty surprised.
Well, good, man. Thank you for writing that. That was a very interesting story. Chat seems to have had a good time with that too.
That was a thing.
Oh, it was.
So, Dermy, how many videos are you going to be making this week? 50, 60, 70? Probably 100.
2 to 3 videos a day. Live streams Fridays and Saturdays. Don't do much on Sundays. I might because of talking about centipedes and circles, I might clip that out for Sunday. Yeah, come check me out. I'll be
stop it.
I'm gonna be doing talking about his circles.
CJ, you need to check this out.
To the same space.
I
will. There were I'll give you guys another hint. It was a gay centipede. How about that? Gay human centipede. And circles.
That's a lot of wieners.
Yeah.
A lot of wieners. We established there's a requirement of a minimum 15 degrees to complete the circle.
Yeah. So yeah,
That's some hardcore docking going on.
Front to back. Yeah, come check me out here at about 6 o'clock or so Central Time. I'm going to be playing some Hogwarts Legacy on my channel. I have to prepare for trying to think how to point again. This dude, my co-host over on Ballbusters stream tonight over at Vets Talking, where we will be playing a game called Guess Them Titties, where I am going around finding all the ladies from our fellowship and comic skate and stuff and clipping out their boobs, and you guys have to try to guess who's who.
Hopefully it'll be a whole lot less gay than Human Centipede.
I hope.
We can hope.
We can only hope. So yeah, come check us out.
All right, true pop culture.
First off, I want to make clear I am an innocent Catholic boy, and hearing this nonsense about gay centipedes
You're just a grumpy Pollock. Shut up.
I am going to need God after this show. Seriously. Yeah. I thank you everyone for watching. Yeah, that was a fun show. As for other things upcoming to my channel, I think I'm going to do a Critical Drinker animated highlight, and I think another Every Frame a Pause animated highlight. So be sure to check out the channel for those coming this month, maybe in the next 2 weeks. I can't make any promises on deadlines or release dates. As always, thanks to Superman for having me on the show, and thank you to our great guest, Tom Connors.
Awesome, man. Yeah, of course. We're always happy to have you on. And thank you again for the intro, man. I know you have a busy week, and you taking care of those intros really does help speed things along. So I really appreciate you, mate.
No problems.
Soldier Spirit.
Yeah, so I am wearing this because we are in celebration of the best video that we ever did, reaction to veterans react to Tom McDonald America. In the process of doing this stream, we picked up another 500 views. It is up to 1,524 views on that fucking video. So I am ecstatic about that. I'm going to keep on celebrating that wonderful thing. Also, we're going to celebrate that we found out last night. I got a message back from John Malin. He is going to be coming on Vets Talking at some point after March 11th. So anyone out there who's a fan of Comicsgate, who the wonderful Sheila Alien in the chat is the one who introduced me to that, had me on John Malin's show for about half hour where I got interrogated to all hell, and Dermy had fun trying to pick on me last night.
I love Sheila Aliens, and I love this whole new arc, and I love Cecil's reactions. It's fantastic. They're offensive, but I love it.
Yeah, so it's been a fun little soap opera experience going on. Apparently, I wonder if me and Cecil ever meet, if we're gonna have to go to blows. I don't know what's gonna happen, but for now. But for now, we're having a lot of fun tonight. Yes, Skinamax Saturday, 10 o'clock Eastern on Vets Talking. Drop the G and you'll find me on YouTube, on Rumble, on the Twitters, all those fun places. And we're always on Vets Talking Tuesday, 7:45 Eastern as well. Hit us up, come out and check it out. Have a lot of fun. And remember, it's not just for veterans, it's for everybody. Just don't get butt hurt. You've been warned.
I love it. I love it every time.
Damn, that's so professional, man. Tom Connors, you got any new content coming out? What's going on for the week? When do you plan to release videos?
Well, we did just drop a video just before the show, so if you haven't checked it out yet, head on over and check it out. It's about Cocaine Bear and Elizabeth Banks and Charlie's Angels and all that business. I am sure we will have more to say on Ant-Man's box office. Postmortem is probably likely to come, which is when we haven't done one of those in a while. But yeah, other than that, just a morning show, Midnight's Edge After Dark. Who knows when I do a Mead Radio? I pop up whenever. Yeah, just follow me around and say hello.
Hello. And yeah, and check out his check out his Twitter too, because you can get all the
That's the
I'll
easiest way
see
to
all
follow
his
me. Yeah.
tweets. Yeah, absolutely. That's how I follow you, and and also, of course, YouTube. I have the notification bell turned on. So, and my name is Superman. If you wasn't scared of green rocks, leader, creator, and founder of the Legion of Memers. Thank you all for watching. And next week we have some new things we will be dropping, hopefully for Legion merch, and we're setting up some things where you can actually have communications with the people in the Legion. So hopefully next week that will be done. So stay tuned for that. And thanks for dropping by, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Well, you could just do what Sheila
Ta-ra.
did and see a sexy one of us and slide into our DMs to get access.
It works.
Yeah.
Hi, Sheila.
And on that note,